And the way you correct it is by asking them how what they're doing is supposed to make me feel. I would never put up with that behavior. I would stop it the first time it happened, because to me that is very destructive. You want to love your kids and you want to like your kids. So they're going to appreciate what you do. You're going to get big eyes and happy smiles out of your kids, and that is really a great day.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole, and welcome to the podcast. We'll be sharing wisdom and encouragement from my mom, a woman who has created a 36-year marriage full of joy and love, and raised 3 children to adulthood that love her and love each other. We'll be talking about how to be a great mom, how to be a great wife, and how to love your life in the process. All right, this episode, I am very excited to be continuing our series on bad behaviors and how to fix them. So the first one that I want to speak about is when your child is being ungrateful.
Ungrateful. Well, the best thing you can do is, if you have a little one, is start very early. If you don't have a little one, then it's going to take a little bit more time, but it can definitely be corrected. And the way you correct it is by asking them how what they're doing is supposed to make me feel, or how what they're doing is making them feel. And you just get the ungratefulness and you just say, why are you not grateful for what I've done for you? Or when I prepare lunch for you and you don't say thank you, how would you like it if you did something for me and I didn't say thank you? How would that make you feel? One of the things that worked really well was when you were young and we taught you good manners, and you would go into a store and it would just make the checkout people so happy that you were saying thank you and yes, I would love one, please. And your enthusiasm was really joyful, and they would give you free things. They would give you a hair clip, or they would say, oh, you can have 2 of the candy in the jar, or they would just say, wow, you are so, wonderful, your manners. And it just made you feel good. I knew I was doing the right thing because, the response you got from people was very positive. And we just built on that. So if you can't do it when they're young, because your children are a little bit older, you can reason with them more and set up instances where you can role play about not being grateful and role play about being grateful. And how does that make you feel? And what are you trying to get out of this situation? If you're being ungrateful, how do you want people to treat you? And nobody wants to be around somebody that's not grateful. And you can just do role playing with them as far as what the behavior you want to see and the behavior that they're doing, and ask them how they feel about it. Is this something that makes you happy? And if it does, well, what could you do different that might make you feel even better? And that's what I just did. That's my response to getting grateful children.
It's good. Why is it important for your child to have gratitude?
Gratitude makes them happier and makes them appreciate things and life more and get more joy out of life. Being an ungrateful person, you're kind of miserable to be around. Nobody wants to do things for you. And when you're grateful, good things come your way. And so I just tried to teach you how to be as grateful as you can. And it worked. That's good. I think.
I think so. I'm very grateful for my life. Okay, so if a child is being grateful, what does good look like?
Good looks like that child is happy with themselves and their behavior and what they're doing and how people are. You can't make somebody, just because your child's being grateful, you can't make somebody appreciate that, but it is all about their internal confidence and understanding of themselves that, wow, I did something nice. They may not have appreciated it, but I appreciated it because I did it and I did the right thing.
And what are behaviors that you see when your child is grateful or is having proper gratefulness?
Well, they're going to appreciate what you do. You're going to get big eyes and happy smiles out of your kids. And that is really a great day. And it comes along in life. I remember when each of my children came back to me when they had left, they're gone to the military or college, and you each came back to me and said, "Wow, thank you. I really appreciate the time you took to raise me." And it just brought me such joy and gratefulness in my own life that I wanted that for you.
One of the things I see in children that makes me think, wow, that is a child that is thoughtfully raised, is a child that says please and thank you very, very well and very consistently. How, talk a little bit about why you taught us so thoughtfully to say please and thank you and how you taught us to do that.
I started very young, and you would not get anything out of me without a please or a thank you, because that just makes the world go round better for me. I really liked well-behaved and well-mannered children. I thought people reacted to you better. If your child is 6 or 7 or 8, is it too late to teach them? No, it's never too late. Never too late. And sometimes it starts with you doing it. So I always did it to you. You would never go, or something. You just try to get something. I would try to have you use your words. And then I would say, and what do we say? And, why would I want you to say please and thank you? And how does that make you feel to say that, to be appreciative? And I just tried to get you to understand what the reaction is that you want. And then it just became ingrained. But it's never too late to teach people to say please and thank you. Even if your child's a teenager, you can still sit down with them and say, look, I'm sorry we didn't raise you that way. It's important in the world, and start today. Yeah. But first, you have to do it. I have to do it as a parent to you. I have to show that to everybody we come in contact with.
And model that, saying please and thank you and being appreciative of other people's actions for you.
Yes, definitely.
Well, one of the things I like about this conversation is I think there are the tactics of gratitude, like saying please, like saying thank you, like being aware of the needs of others and going to meet them. And then I think there is, you talked a bit about too, that kind of attitude of gratitude and this idea of actually being grateful for the things that you have. One of my favorite stories about gratitude is from the Happiness Lab, which is this amazing podcast. And they have this episode that talks about Olympians and how happy they are when they get a medal. And so gold medal winners are happy, very happy. They're enjoying their win. They've worked so hard for this. Silver medal winners are usually a little bit sad. And you can kind of see it on their face. And it's because they were so close to being the top, but they didn't quite make it. And then bronze medal winners are usually ecstatic. And that is because they're comparing themselves to different reference points. So the gold medal winner is the top. So they're comparing themselves to that. The silver medal winner is comparing themselves to the gold. And so they aren't quite at the level that they really wanted to be. But the bronze winner is comparing themselves to everybody else that didn't get on the podium. To have gratitude is to focus on the things that you have and to really be grateful for what you have been given, but then also having a proper reference point. So how do you teach your children to have proper reference points when they're thinking about their lives?
There's lots of books you can expound upon that teach you stories or learn stories together. Read them as far as learning to be grateful and to appreciate what you have and see how blessed and lucky you are that you have that you've worked that hard and received something for that, or you want to work that hard to get that and achieve that. And I just think books are a great way to start the conversation or their friends or people at church or out in the community or something on the news that you could talk about.
And how did you use that for yourself as well to maintain your own levels of gratitude?
I just find that I am a lot happier if I am grateful for things. And if I wake up every day and just appreciate, number one, what God's given me. Number two, how hard I work at being a mom and a wife and try to be a good person. And I just appreciate what I have so much and so grateful for everything. And it just makes the day better. And it makes me happier, and I think a happy wife is a happy life, and I just try to choose happy whenever I can.
Okay, great. Anything else on teaching your children to be grateful or dealing with it when they're ungrateful?
When they're ungrateful, I think the important thing is just to sit down and ask them, ask them open-ended questions. How is your behavior supposed to make me feel? How do you want me to treat you? And how am I supposed to do that for you if you're ungrateful? Where's my motivation? And then you just mirror being grateful in your own daily life, and they're going to pick up on it.
Okay, sounds good. All right. The next bad behavior that I want to talk about is not helping. So what do you do when your child sees you doing something and does not want to help or even really try to help those around them?
When a child is not helping, I would sit you down on the couch and I would say, Nicole, how is that supposed to make me feel if you don't help me? But you want me to help you. How do you think you could get me to help you? What are ways? And I would just look at you. And then I would wait for you to answer. And if you didn't answer, then I would give you some suggestions like, Nicole, how about if you asked me to make you some lunch that you would help clean up after? Or you would help me cook? And if you didn't want to help, then how's that supposed to make me want to help you? And I would just ask open-ended questions, so you had to think with the front part of your brain and come up with some suggestions. And we would always sit down and talk about it. And at the end, they'd say, okay, Pinky, I'll help you and you help me. And we would just come up with ways.
It's really cute. Yeah. Well, I think that idea of if understanding that and teaching your children that human behavior is mirrored. And so if you help somebody else, then they want to help you and you get to help each other. And that's a beautiful thing, not in a manipulative way, but that's how you build community. That's how you build trust. That's how you take care of each other. And so I love that idea of, I want to help you, but part of that is you helping me. We help each other. And so how do you think about that? And then how do you think about your role in the family as well? And the responsibility that comes along with that. And then how do you fulfill that? And a lot of that is, with being helpful and seeing needs and doing something about them. I love it. Anything else on helpfulness?
Well, I'm much more open to help you if you're helping me. And just explaining that to children and helping them to understand that them putting themselves in the way of being grateful and helping is important.
Can you ask your children to help too much?
Absolutely. I think so. I think kids need to be kids, but I think there's responsibilities in a family. But to me, when you were a baby and then I had more children, asking you to help my kids too much, somebody said was very detrimental. And so I was really careful about that. So you didn't feel like it was a chore or a burden to help me. We would make it fun.
Love it. Okay. The last bad behavior that I want to talk about is hitting. Yeah. So what do you do when your child hits you?
Or
how do you stop it from even getting there?
Getting there? I never spanked. I was not a spanker because I did not want that behavior. And so I didn't do that. I found other ways to have you behave. But hitting is so destructive that I would, if you raise your hand or act like you would, I would take and I would just say gentle. When you were little, I would just say gentle, and I would take your hand and put it on my face and just go gentle, because kids have a habit of, trying to smack or whatever. But so very, very young, I would do that. And then I would never allow you to hit, ever. Each other or yourself. Your dad would never put up with that either, which is good. He was always very supportive of that. And I would just, number one, I would not put myself in a position, if you were angry, that I would get in close to you. But I would never, I would teach you young. Now, if your child is a little older and, they're kicking or whatever, I would take them, sit them on the couch, and I would say, how is that supposed to make me feel? How would you like it if I did that to you? And I would never put up with that behavior. I would stop it the first time it happened, because to me, that is very destructive. It's destructive to your relationship. And you want to love your kids and you want to like your kids. So it's just stopping it right when it starts.
And hitting is not a tool that works in most situations in life. There are times, I think, where it is important to know how to hit somebody.
Self-defense.
Right. But those are very few and far between. And so teaching other skills on how to communicate your frustration is just so important.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Very good point. Why is that an answer for you? What do you really want to tell me? Why are you that mad at me that you think that that's an answer? And those are things you can ask your children and get to the bottom of it.
And teach them different ways.
Other tools.
That's one of the things I love, is always talking about, having that tool in your toolbox, and how do you think about what are all the tools that your child needs and what are tools that they really shouldn't be using. And how do you balance that? I do find that really interesting, because we were in martial arts, so we were taught how to hit. But I think part of that is we understood that it is in only a very specific context that you do hit. And Dad used to always talk about it also on when in the course of self-defense, do you use physical strength versus using other tools, like using your words, going to an adult, things like that.
Teacher.
So how do you feel that martial arts helped us learn the proper role of using physical strength?
Well, the martial arts gave you the confidence that you could protect yourself. There was a girl that did try to hit you, and you knew exactly what to do. It's just giving you the confidence. I think martial arts gives you the confidence of self-discipline and how to protect yourself and how not to put yourself in a bad situation. And so you carried yourself differently after you started that. And that stopped people from, you were not a target. You were not picked on.
Okay, that's helpful. What do you do if your child is already a teen or in middle school and is hitting you?
Oh, yeah. I would say to yourself, never again. And I would definitely sit down with that child and explain that that is not acceptable. And you may have done it in the past, but this is a new sheriff in town, and you're not going to put up with it anymore. I think there comes a point when you need to be bad cop, and I was definitely bad cop sometimes to get what I wanted out of you, what kind of behavior and I wanted out of you. So that's it.
If your child is being violent, is there ever a time that you think you need to bring in outside authority?
Oh, of course. Yeah. You, again, trust your instincts. You're a parent. But it has to start young. And if they're not young, if they are older, then yes, you're definitely going to have to get some outside help, because it is a bigger mountain to climb.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay. Anything else on gratitude, being ungrateful, not being helpful, or hitting that you want to add?
Just trust yourself. Ask friends that have great kids, maybe older kids, well, how did you do it? How did you handle this behavior? Read, look online. You've got so many options. Talk to older parents that have gone through it, what they did, maybe some skills.
Great. Okay. Well, tune in next time. We will continue this series on bad behaviors and how to fix them. If you have any bad behaviors that you would like us to address, please either add it in the comments or you can send us an email at nicole@momexplained.com and we will answer it next time. So thank you. Talk to you all soon. We're professional.
Yes.